Okay, welcome back, YouTubers, history buffs, history nerds, those of us that like to maybe even think that we can rewrite certain historical events. We are back with Grand Tactician, the Civil War. And as you can see, based off of the newspaper article at hand, it has started. All right, so I figured this was a good place to start with another video and continue with the pregame walkthrough. All right, so this one's going to probably be more focused on army management. It's going to be more specifically towards army management because the first video that I did was more about setting up your economy. You know, how to create a solid foundation. You know, how to tweak your industry, how to tweak your transportation, your financial situation, and things like that. So now we're going to go ahead and start off with some more military management. But first, actually, I think there's a couple of other little things that we have to go through before the other states secede. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, and as you can see, shortly after, and I do run through this at like 20x, 50x, these first few scenes, as it were. Okay, let's go ahead and hit that pause key though. All right, I can take away those little market influence. I had left that up. You can see where I've been building some markets. I had actually established a couple of industrial things. At least I thought I had. You know what? Yeah, no, that was another game. But you can see where I'm putting in markets to sort of help out with supply lines and things like that. Actually, there were a couple of other places I wanted to stick those in. Oh, no, wait, got one going in there. Okay, good. And like I said, I like to put them in at rail crossroads. Um, I think for fairly obvious reasons to put them in at the crossroads. And wasn't there something else over here that I wanted to do? Yes, if I may. You'll notice that it's a 16-4. That's a yeah, it's not like money-wise great, but percentage-wise, you get really good returns out of farms over here in the Texas area. Mainly, mainly because if you'll take a look-see there, um, crop fertility is 58%. It's pretty nuts. So put a couple of those over there, and then I think what I'm going to do also is build a mill. Oh, wait a second. Nope. San Antonio Mill. I already got one over here. A lot of forage produced over there. They demand crops. Crops are in demand here. See, I like building them along this river more so than anything else. We got bricks being produced over here. So, do I want to put a foundry in? No, not a foundry. Perhaps a factory? No, not a factory. How about an ironworks? Not a farm, not a mill, not a plant. Salt work, perhaps? Well, now keep in mind, certain materials you can create certain, doing this actually you can create certain types of, or certain zones, if you will, production zones. Salt actually is going to be used in factories to make food products, and then of course provisions based off of that. And let me see if I can't find this here. So yes, livestock is used to make food and leather in factories. Sheep makes wool, of course, makes textiles in factories. Um, Let me see here. Salt, yes, as you can see, leather and provisions in factories. So it's not used to make food, it's used to make provisions. Those are weapons manufacturers, artillery, small arms, ammunition. Provisions. Provisions are not used to produce anything. They're kind of an end all. So, as you can see, salt is used to make those provisions. Um, Rice is used to produce food, so on and so forth. So you get all of this stuff, and they come together at certain locations, right? So let me see here. We still have militia. We still have okay. Let's go ahead and continue to where all the other guys secede. Did I put a mill in over here? Give me just a second. Did I not put a mill in over here? Look at that flour demand. That's very high demand right there. I cannot believe I didn't put a mill in over here. Okay, where do we want to put it? 97.79, 97.93. Ooh, that's really not good return, is it? I mean, 97's good, but the initial cost is going to eat up any kind of worthwhile return on those profits. 79, 83, 79, 93. There's a mill right there, so it kind of almost doesn't make any sense. Let's go ahead and put another one in right there by, because that 97, 86, 78, 79. If I could get like 20% return, that would be great. And that's going to get it there, I think. 78, 74. Because that's 79. That's 74. 78, 74. Yeah, this is kind of the place to do it, I think. 58% workforce. All right. Yep, right there. A little pricey, but, well, there you have it. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I got a little sidetracked. Let's go and push to where the other guys.
This step, secession, once taken.
Now you can skip these and hit by hitting escape if you really care to. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so the other states have followed suit. All right, and this is going to be a little bit more on army management. Now, don't worry so much about a lot of these places through here still being part of the Union. They're about to join up with us as well. Okay, so now we get to move armies. We get to manage armies. Let me see. What do I want to do with these guys? Well, I do want to bring my South Carolina militia up to Fredericksburg. I do want to do that. Oh boy. Well, that was a botched attempt. So let's use Hampton's division here as a better example, shall we? Do I want to push into Alexandria? I mean, it gives me a river choke point. The Army of the Susquehanna, I'm going to go ahead and push them up into Harper's Ferry. Now, you want to pull up those tabs. because they're going to allow you to do different things with your units. You can set them to rail movement. You can set them to march if you want them to march. River movement as well is also very helpful in certain situations. But use those rails if you want your troops to move faster. Definitely make use of those rails. Um, because, well, it's kind of what rails are for, right? They're there to improve movement of your armies. Rail movement. Do I want to do river movement there as well? No. Let's go ahead and issue that order. Okay. And then the South Carolina militia. Let's go ahead and reissue that order because that stupid newspaper just kind of popped up, didn't it? Oh, and we also have the Florida State Militia. Where do I want to send them again? Where had I been doing that? You know, I think I really like to kind of move these guys here. Let's go over to our armies tab. Okay, so that's kind of general thoughts and ideas for movement. Oh yes, things you are going to want to do. Things you are going to want to do. Let me see here. We're going to want one of these over here. Hospitals, very important. This Minnesota State Guard. Or Missouri, rather. Minnesota. Yes. Do not neglect doing stuff like this. Because these guys are in full retreat. They really can't stand up to them. So let's see here. How do I want to get over there? Let's send you down to Batesville. There's no rail movement, but we can maybe hit those rivers. And our Western Army here. They can just march. Okay, so big things to do at the start. Biggest things to do at the start is come back over to the armies of the Potomac, armies of the Shenandoah. All right, and things to maybe pay attention to. Wade Hampton. Let's swap you out to that real quick because what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna put Hampton. I'm gonna merge these two groups because Hampton's group is just 500 guys. I'm gonna go ahead and merge him with Jones. And what I like to try to do, this is sort of let me see here. I'm gonna replace him and give Lee a brigade command real quick. All right, so you'll see his fame dropped off a little bit, his initiative, his leadership. Oh no, wait, that's Cox stats. All right, so what I generally is a sort of I don't know, it's a thought, right? Is I like to have a group that's going to be kind of dedicated to more sharpshooting. All right, more sharpshooting. So you give them guns with better range, better accuracy, and these will be smaller groups. All right, one group for sort of volley fire. And then, last but not least, and let's see what I have for numbers here. Boys from Georgia. Georgia's got a lot of recruits, and they have pretty high support actually for the cause. Now, with the Confederacy, you can make 3,000 man brigades. You can, but for one, they take longer, and for two, well, 3,000 men are going to eat into your unit reserves a lot faster. So typically, for me anyway, I'll make 15 and 2250 groups, and there again, it's going to be based on what I want the unit to do. All right, and let's see here, Georgia boys, Georgia boys, Georgia. Let's see here, that's that, and that's that. Yeah, why not? You can change the uniforms. You don't have to. You can just do these things. It's kind of a cosmetic deal. It's fun to play around with at times. You can dress your guys up in French blue and British red if you want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and recruit a brigade of Georgians. We're going to give them Springfield 1842 muskets. And do I want to burn up all my brigadier generals in there? Not really. So, hmm. Braxton Bragg. This is where things can get a little tricky. Because I did take the feuds off, but for some reason, some of these commanders, obviously, I cannot put into those commands. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to B. And actually, this group I did want to put Longstreet in charge of, if I can get him. Yes, there we go. Put Longstreet in charge of that group. And actually, do I want to use B there? Or do I want to put Jubal early? Early's got better administration. All right, and then these 6-pound field guns gotta go. Four guns. What do I want to do? Do I want to put howitzers over here, or do I want to use these parrot rifles? Actually, Rosser's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and put howitzers with this guy. Rosser's going to be that. I'm going to go ahead and also recruit some artillery from elsewhere. Start forming up this army. Now, things to certainly consider. Where is B from anyway? B is from South Carolina. Longstreet is also from South Carolina, and Ewell is from Virginia. So it seems sometimes your commander's place of origin can be important. Sometimes it's not. It's just going to depend. All right, so let's add a new group. Do I want this to be under Wade Hampton, another South Carolinian? Wade's actually pretty good. I think I'll give Hampton a whole division. Yeah, why not? Let's give Hampton a whole division. Okay, so to start off, what do we want to do? Well, since it's a 1,500 group, and I could go through Louisiana for that, but let's go through Arkansas. support is only 7. Well, not only. I mean, 78's not bad. It's not. It's not Arizona territory. Maine has given. We've got 2% support in Maine. Look at that. Anyway, it is. It is a little cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and give him Mississippi rifles. And they're going to be, oh God, 37 days. That's kind of rough, isn't it? Let's see here. Do I have any states with low recruit numbers? We got Florida. I could recruit some artillerymen from Florida. Why not? Now, artillery brigades, I do like to go ahead and max them out. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Those are Floridians. Florida's got really solid support. Um, David Jones. Okay. Now this is where things can get really weird because okay, it's going to put a cavalry commander in charge of an artillery brigade. I'm going to go ahead and give these guys these Parrot rifles because Parrot rifles have good range and accuracy. But let's replace this guy. Evans is artillery early. Pelham, on the other hand, he was probably one of the more famous Alabama commanders, um, and he was in charge of artillery brigades. So yeah, his stats are going to drop a little bit, but Pelham's a good leader. He's got good fame. He's got very good fame. So let's go ahead and put him there. Okay, what else? Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee. I'm going to save some of my more western states, though, for the western armies. So I'm going to try to focus on places over here. Let's pull some boys from Virginia. All right. Mm-hmm. And upgrade their weaponry, of course. Dave Jones. Let me see here. Braxton Bragg. Jupil actually might be better to give a division command to. And these are random thoughts. You'll notice that some of the commanders have various perks, like Branch of Arms Infantry. Having served originally in the infantry, this officer knows how to keep his men in line and up to task, increasing readiness and marching ability of the unit and maintaining fighting condition. So there is that. Cavalry, obviously, officer understands how to best utilize his troopers, increasing intelligence gathering and raiding effectiveness. It also helps maintain condition of the horses and morale of the troopers. Right. So different commanders actually will have different perks. Okay, and then artillery, of course, how to train his men to fire fast and accurate to keep the guns in pristine condition and the gunners proud of their art. Right? So different commanders actually are going to serve different. They're going to have different roles, as it were. And maybe it's best to keep these kinds of guys. And I've been playing around a little bit with it. Sometimes, you give guys like this. Makes his unit better in siege warfare and constructing or overcoming obstacles. And see, that's where it can get interesting. Would it be better to give a guy like this command of an individual brigade or a whole division, maybe even the entire army? It's just going to depend on the leader, really. And then you'll notice that some other leaders, if I can find one, Bragg, let me see here. Where are my politically appointed? Like this guy, James Kemper. He's politically assigned. So what he does, commanding troops increases support in his home state, but he's apt to feuds. If removed from command, it will hurt the support in his state. So with those guys, you want to look to, okay, where are they from? And then, of course, you can make decisions based on that. So maybe I want to put that Kemper guy in charge of this group. Or because I don't want to use up all my brigadier generals to command an entire to command a single brigade. Theophilus has really good administration. Well organized, and logistics are handled professionally. But I almost have to have. Yeah, I'm gonna put Jubal early. He's an engineer too, so he might be good to put these guys in charge of. They'll be better at building things and things of that nature. Longstreet. Now, interestingly, and this is something maybe the history community out there can help me with, because I always thought Ewell was in charge of infantry brigades. But in this, he's a cavalry commander, which I don't know. It kind of doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, we'll put Holmes in charge of that group, and then anyway, this should give you a general idea of how to set up armies, right? How to set up armies. And you can come in here once the game gets going and you start getting access to production capacities and things like that. You can start producing specific groups of weapons and quantities and things like that to equip your armies with. So anyway, hopefully that helps. And next video should be more combat oriented. So till then, YouTube, thanks for stopping by. Be sure to like and subscribe, help the channel out, and I will see you next time.